I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm back. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up.
Alright, I'm gonna start doing reaction videos. I gotta get this channel monetized, okay? And I made a lot of money in my life doing a lot of different things, and this is one of the things that's on my goal list. So if you can help me out, like and subscribe. On the video we're gonna be watching is Trump goes nuclear on Jasmine Crockett and she loses it. Alright. What I'm looking at is the next party that's gonna take over. Depending on the party that's in office, you can somewhat try to predict the next outcome that's going to happen. Okay. Let me give you an example. With all the tariffs in the 70 countries, yeah, they're coming forward. But one of the drawbacks, what I believe, and I'm still researching it, I'm not researching it heavy, but is that the tourist industry took a hit. Okay. On top of that, we have the racism that's coming out. The whole world's watching. And I'm not saying that America is overly racism. I believe that there's more consequences for your actions for being racist now than any other time. I also believe that manifesting and doing business and creating business, marketing yourself as a owner, okay, um, even as self-employed, is part of reparations. Okay, to have that freedom. All right, especially if you leave America, you're gonna see a lot of the privileges that we have. All right, in the way that we live. Um, are we in a rat race? Yes, we're in a rat race, but I believe that we're in one of the best developed versions of the rat race because there's many different versions. All right, so I'm gonna start this video. All right, let me know what y'all think of it. I'm gonna have my team take care of the echo, so I'm starting it.
Jasmine Ratchet video. Listen, this one found me. It found me. Listen, I was minding my business, and we were on a live stream last night. Thank you guys so much for showing up for that one. We had a great time, and may do another one like that again in the near future. Anyway, I came across this story, and I was listening to Trump's response, and it was so hilarious. I said to the audience, I said, take it.
We're watching the Treehouse News.
You know I'm gonna have to do a video about this. You know I'm gonna have to clown her, right? Because she responded to Trump calling her low IQ, and she is big mad. I mean, big, like big wig, big mad. All right, she's that big mad. So let's go ahead and get right on into it because trust me, you're gonna really love this video. All right, Parliament Representative Jasmine Ratchet. I know y'all call her Crockett. I call her Ratchet. Snaps after President Trump dumps on her during Meet the Press interview. And it was hilarious. Now, I'm going to go directly to YouTube and look at the YouTube video because these people on Twitter X do not know how to cut videos. They just cut him off right when it was about to get to the good part. Now, what I've done is I have watched like most of this interview and I got to my favorite part. Now, we're going to look at what he said on Jasmine Ratchet and we're going to look at her response and then I'm going to come back to this video and we're going to look at what he said about Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. And it is hilarious what he said about Joe Biden. And we're going to laugh at that too. So let's get right on into it and look at the interview and watch Trump's response in reference to Jasmine Ratchet.
When you look to the future, Mr. President, do you think the MAGA movement can survive without you as its leader?
Yes, I do.
What gives you?
I think it's so strong. I think we have tremendous people. I think we have a tremendous group of people. We're talking about a number of them. You look at Marco, you look at J.D. Vance, who's fantastic. You look at, I could name 10, 15, 20 people right now just saying.
All right, now, I'm not going to stop this too much, okay? But this is my biggest question. What political party do you think is going to take over next? And why? All right. They already got 15, 20 people growing, ready to take over. I think the other party, the D's, we're going to call them the D's, they got one so far. Okay. Um, I know there's another guy around. I don't know 100% what happened. I don't want to mistalk. Older Caucasian gentleman wears a hat. Something happened. They was asking him this question, but yeah, who's the next leader of that party? You know, um, I feel like they're prepared. If something happens to we're gonna call him Mr. T. You know, give everybody nicknames here. We in the YouTube streets. All right. Um, if something happens to them, God forbid, they can keep the same agenda. And that's one of the things that you have to be good at, you know. Um, just even in your personal life, being able to hold an agenda, be able to hold a goal. That's one of the biggest issues that's out here is that it's hard to find people that's willing to walk to your agenda. All right, let me start this.
Yeah, I think we have a tremendous point. And you know what? I can't name one Democrat. I mean, I look at the Democrats; they're a total disarray. They have a new person named Crockett. I watched her speak the other day. She's definitely a low IQ person.
Where's the lie? Where's the lie? There's no lies, no. No lies, no. She's going in a bag of rusty hammers, dude. She is so stupid. Dude, like Trump, come on. Come on now. I mean, you could have put like she a low IQ helper if you wanted to, right? If you really wanted to like bond with us on a slide, you know what I'm saying? But oh my God, dude, she saw that she was so bad. Anyway, let's watch what he says, continuing saying something about her.
And they said she's the future of the party. I said, you have to be kidding. I don't know what they're going to do.
I don't know what they're gonna do either. But Lord, oh no. I do know what they're gonna do. They're gonna run a AOC Bernie Sanders ticket. They don't look. Kamala Harris, okay, said that she was thinking about running again. They're like, look, Pepper, we gave you 2 opportunities, you failed both times. We are not taking the three strikes you're out. So they're trying to normalize AOC. I don't know how they're trying to do that. And they're trying to have her run as president and Bernie Sanders run. No, wait a minute. Bernie Sanders run as president and AOC runs as vice president. So if something happens,
Put it down in the chat and let me know if you agree with what she's saying because I gotta pay attention a little bit more. I watch both sides, okay? I just don't watch one side. I watch both sides. I probably watch more than one side, more than the other side. But either or, you still gotta know what's going on, all right? And what's you should be trying to predict right now. It might be a little bit too early, but the who's going to win the midterms, I believe, right? I might be speaking wrong, but um, they're trying to they're trying to get all of the agenda out before that happens because they know that if they do lose it, all right, we're going to call them the R's, okay? If the R's lose their seats in their spot, then we got the D's right over that's going to make things way more difficult. So right now, while they got the house and they got everything, you might as well just do everything that you can do. And I might have misspoken about the house part. I got to do some more research, but I do know that they're holding the majority of the seats.
the Bernie, the AOC gets to hit the glass ceiling by being the first woman of color, woman, whatever. I don't care. I don't care about these identity politics. But let's look at what Jasmine Ratchet had to say. And by the way, we are going to pay homage, or shall I say homage, to Jasmine Ratchet. Check this out. Excuse me, okay? You need to keep my name out your mouth. Trump. Keep my name out your mouth. Okay?
That's funny.
My name all up in your mouth like this. I'm like, why does he have my name all up in his mouth? Republicans be all up on the
I really believe in a two-party system. Because it's good to be challenged. It's really good to have a two-party. It's good. Being challenged is okay. It keeps you sharp. I don't know what they're going to do. They have nobody. Bernie's 87 years old or something. And Biden is the worst thing that ever happened to old people.
Mm.
Trump is so wrong. He's so mean. And I love it as a fellow mean person, okay?
That was very raw.
This is what he does this stuff. When he goes off the cuff and he goes after the Democrats, it is my chef's kiss.
Because he was grossly incompetent, and I think maybe for artificial reasons, an operation something. So maybe that's an artificial. But I know people that are unbelievably sharp, and they're older than 87. But I watch Bernie Sanders. He's a nut job, but he's still sharp.
Now that's ladies and gentlemen, what you call a backhand compliment. He's a nut job, but he's sharp. I really hope they run Bernie Sanders as president and AOC as vice president. That is a sure loser ticket. They don't have another Obama, and we know how Joe Biden won. Yeah, we can't talk about that on YouTube, but
So real quick, would you rather vote for Bernie Sanders or I forgot the other one? They want to come back again. We're gonna have to pause this, but we're gonna use YouTube, the power of TV. Kamala. All right, Kamala. All right, would you have Bernie, Kamala, or AOC? I'm just curious. Like, I don't care if you're for the party or not. Like, who do you think is the lesser of the evils?
you know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
He's as sharp as he's the same guy he was. He hasn't gone down. But Biden is he's the worst thing to happen to old people.
That was it. That was it. Give it up to Trump, everybody. Now we're going to go to low IQ Jasmine Ratchet. She says some stupid stuff as always do.
Now that we know that they are doing things such as, snatching people off the streets and throwing them down in what I would consider to be concentration camps or
They're called prisons.
prisons.
There you go. They're called prisons. All right, not concentration camps. And also, they are illegal immigrants. They are criminals. And by the way, ain't nobody being.
Let me know if you agree or disagree with the portions the illegal immigrants that's being removed. Let me know if you agree with it or not.
Snatched off the street. They are put in handcuffs. How do you snatch somebody off the street? These are illegal aliens. They're all criminals, all of them. And they do get their due process and they get the hell out of our country. Imagine being more concerned with illegal criminals, especially the ones that like the R word.
Let me say something else. What's going on right now with the immigration? I'm pretty confident that would never happen nowhere else around the world. Like it's just nowhere else around the world. Like it's like if you just cut yourself on purpose almost. So I'm not saying I'm for it or against it, but the pros and cons.
Children, especially if they would like to human traffic children and women, okay, as well as other people, and they would like to commit crimes of assault, drunk driving, robbery, all kinds of crimes, and they don't even, the demon rats don't even want to deal with the criminals that we have here in their blue city as it is. They want to deflect from the criminals that they have in their own city.
So let me ask you another question, okay? Where would you rather open a business at? R city or D city? Where would you rather live at? R city or D city? and tell me the reason and why behind it. You know, I'm a fan of being able to like take care of myself, so I definitely need personal protection. And I know in New York, it can take a little while to get your weapon. Just something to think about, you know. God forbid your life is in danger.
Now concentrate on illegal aliens. Imagine that.
And these are people that haven't been convicted of anything.
Yes, they have. Okay, more like whenever you see Jasmine Ratchet lips moving, okay, she's lying.
And it's wrong. Listen, we have.
It's not wrong. They're in our country. That's illegally. That's wrong. I understand this. They're supposed to be in our country illegally, and that's the right way to do it. You could never do this in any other country. Honey, even Mexico deports people who are there illegally.
Oversight over them. If we are in a contract with El Salvador, then it is us that have to decide as to whether or not they are violating human rights. And
so that's nothing.
All right, before she goes talk. All right, now if it's cheaper and it's saving us money, okay, and we can get to the point and let's just say hypothetically, we pay off the debt. There's a surplus. Do we not have to pay taxes? Is that something that we can throw in the air? I don't know, you know, but if it's saving us money, you know, and it's also sending a message. All right, put yourself in their shoes. Can you imagine coming over here from another country to here, wanting a better life or doing something illegal, whatever? You're traveling, you're coming here. And then they deport you to another country that's not even your country. I wouldn't want to come here illegally. I'd just be like, yo, imagine, like, and I don't know if it's worse than their country or not. They're probably helping them. They just made some money. The smart businessman right there, right? He saw opportunity. Yo, listen, I'll house them. You know, I even take the Americans. No, that's where we have to draw the line. Yeah, because I get a feeling about that. There's going to be a lot of Americans that ain't going to be coming back. There's going to be a certain group too, maybe. I don't know. I just don't like that feeling.
They want to stop the promotion of El Salvador, where, what is his name? Bukele, I think his name is. If that's not how his name is pronounced, please correct me in the comments below. But they want to, they don't like the fact that this man reduced crime by 96.5% in El Salvador. While the Democrats, they have allowed
good job
to 200, 300, and in New York, 500%. They don't want crime to de-escalate. They have activist judges that will reduce the bond if they give bond to these criminals who will commit heinous crimes, from anywhere from murder to armory. They don't care. They don't want them in jail. They want them on the streets to continue terrorizing other United States citizens. So this woman is more concerned about a jail that's not even in our country. We don't have no authority over there. But yet still, I bet you, you're not concerned about other jails in other countries.
Once you get on that plane, you are no longer a problem or property anymore. I don't think you was our property when you first came by.
You have to be given an opportunity to inspect. So even if James Comer says no, Democrats, you can't go down there, we are elected members of the Oversight Committee, so we should be requiring that they turn over reports to us. Same thing with the FDA as they're going at.
Hold on. Look, this is another thing I noticed about Jasmine Ratchet. Let me rewind this for a second, okay? The one thing I love about her, no, I don't love about her, she runs on sentences. This is how you know she's low IQ. And it's not racist to say that. She is definitely low IQ, okay? She runs on sentences. She does that with all, that's how you know she's lying. So she'll sit up here and say, they're snatching people off the streets and welfare is being eliminated by Donald Trump. And who in the hell told Donald Trump that he can serve a fifth term? And these people want to sit up here thing in reference to trying to check on a prison facility in another country. My question is, why aren't you concerned about the humanitarian treatment of the Ukrainians by your precious Zelensky? How he snatched innocent people up off the streets, as long as they're 18, he'll snatch them up and put them on the front line with little to no training, so they can be cannon fodder. Why aren't you caring about those human rights violations? Okay, why not worry about the human violations that are going on in Islamic countries where they're cutting people's hands off for stealing, or they're stoning women, calling it honor killing, or they're throwing gay men off the roof? Oh, that goes against your narrative.
We should be requiring that they turn over reports to us. Same thing with the FDA, is they're going out and they're firing people, and we don't know what its impact is going to be as it relates to our food supply, and they don't want to tell us about it, whether or not our food is going to be safe.
Honey, let me say something. When I lived in Germany, there were foods that I wanted in America that were banned in Europe. You couldn't get it in Italy, France, and Germany. You couldn't get it anywhere in the EU because it had some very toxic, carcinogenic,
Or has different ingredients.
type of ingredients that were harmful. Do they care? Do the Food and Drug Administration care? No. So she's like, now we need to have all this food that's making people fat and addicted to it, and basically just making them want to eat more and more and more. Because remember, it's the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration, is regulating how much drugs can go in your food. Don't forget that.
Guess what? We need to make sure that we require that they turn those documents over to us.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, guess what? We need to show up at their doors, and we need to conduct a field hearing right there at FDA.
So you want to harass people. Now, I want you to understand, these people love to do intimidation. Oh, if you don't do what we say, we're going to show up at your doors. I wish you would. Thank God for the Castle Doctrine and the Stand Your Ground laws here in Georgia, in the South, really. Because they have it in South Carolina, in Florida, and some other places in Texas, blah, blah. But, you know, you ain't going to just show up at anybody's house and just harass them. That's what the workforce is for. You want to get some paperwork, show up at their desk, at their job.
Same thing as it relates to the planes that are falling out of the sky. We need some real transparency, and we need some honesty, and we need to make sure that the American people are just as enraged as we all should be, because this administration is truly trying to kill us, it feels like.
Okay, now, well, first of all, that whole plane coming out of the sky, that's on your watch, okay? Guess what happened, right? Check this out. That was a DEI hire, just like you, Jasmine Ratchet. That was a woman who decided not to listen to a man because he's a man. She was like an XX chromosome, said, I don't want to listen to an XY chromosome. She was a libtard, a demon rat.
I think the whole situation is truly sad. Very sad. An unfortunate situation. I wish that it could have been avoided and never happened.
Like all her, and by the way, they took down her TikTok. Her TikTok was all about diversity, inclusion. She was all talking about how she was so glad she was a feminist, and she had her little pink hat. She was talking about how she was so glad to be a female pilot, blah blah blah. And look at what she did. Look at this. And then, hold on. Everybody knew she was a DEI hire. Everybody knew that she was the one that caused the crash. And this, you got people, the lying ratchets, gonna put this on Trump. Nah, that's all on you, baby. Just check this out. New York Times. The New York Times. By the way, this crash happened in February, right? I think it did. Wait a minute. Let me read this. I'm gonna have to read it to make sure. Or it happened most recently. Let me see. New York Times admit it. Female Black Hawk pilot rejected male co-pilot's life-saving directive 15 seconds before fireball erupted. Let's see. Oh, no, let me see. No, it happened in January. The New York Times waited until the very end of a lengthy story about the January collision between a U.S. Army helicopter and a passenger jet in Washington, D.C. to reveal that the female copter pilot failed to follow her male flight instructor's directions leading to the tragedy. Honey, she wasn't going to listen to no man. She's a woman, okay? She's a DEI. I'm a woman. I don't listen to no man. And guess what? You dead now because of it. So, yeah, she's trying to make this seem like it's all on Trump, but no, this is on her watch. This is all on them. The demon rats are the ones who are all for DEI. And let's not forget, this dumb woman was hired because she's black and a woman. Well, what did she say? She said, I want you to hire me because I'm black. And that's the reason why they hired her, because she's black. But she's dumb as hell. She doesn't know the law. Let's not forget she said this, okay? Let's not forget she said this stupid stuff.
It is not a criminal violation to enter the country illegally. It's not a criminal. It's a crime. It's not a crime, which is why they're so frustrated, because they really want our local law enforcement to go out and round up people when they could be looking out for the murderers and the sexual abusers as well as the robbers. They want them to go and round people up on civil accusations. And so it is not a...
Listen, there's no country that I can just walk through. Every country, you can't even leave your country without your passport. You can't go to another country without your passport. Do you know when you walk through the security, they be having infrared cameras on you? They got regular cameras, infrared cameras. They seeing through your packaging as you're walking. Probably got facial recognition on you too. All right, I'm very confident about the facial recognition. Okay, and they might not have it on you the whole time, but that airport till you leave, you got to give all your information, your credentials. They can reject you. You're called undesirable, deployable. You're undesirable. Bye-bye. Get out my country. But we just let you walk through. Okay? And you're lucky if you're undesirable and you get deported. You're lucky, because then with the other guy, maybe I'll find a video, you get 24 years of life. Go there, do stuff that you're not supposed to do and never come out. Leave. Like, you just stuck there. Nobody can save you. You know, you gotta literally do like a 50 Cent, you know. God have mercy on my soul. Not funny, yo. You gotta follow the rules. Excuse me. Fix my shirt. You gotta follow the rules. Okay. You gotta make sure you have extra cash, but that's for another story, all right?
Woo! I don't need to repeat this. Okay? I don't need to repeat this. But I want you to know this. This is a lawyer. This is a lawyer. She doesn't know the difference between criminal and civil law. She literally said, to enter in here against the law is not a crime. To come in here illegally is not a crime. She doesn't know the definition of war. I'm done. Listen, I'm done, guys. I'm not gonna go on. I was gonna have some other stuff here. I don't want to do it. I'm tapped out. Be sure to like this video. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Meditators.
Hey, can you help her out? Go to her channel, support her, because you know I'm in these YouTube streets. I gotta get monetized. Okay, I watch a lot of YouTube, like tons of it, and for the knowledge, right? So you're still learning. Okay, this video, what is the political party that you want to go with? You know, you got to learn the information about both of them, the pros and the cons. Okay, so you got to have an objective eye. Look, I'm gonna let her say this, and I'm gonna close out.
how you can support me outside of my donations. And I have a Patreon. I've always had a Patreon.
Donate to our Patreon.
But that's if you would like to support me, head on over there to patreon.com/treeoflogic. I'll provide a direct link available in the description box as well as
Support me too with the PayPal.
uncensored videos that you cannot see here, along with some other articles, and you can communicate directly with me in addition to having me out. So, head on over there to my Patreon at patreon.com/treeoflogic, and I look forward to joining our family.
I don't know, I might join because if she's talking like this, imagine what she says that she can't say. But I do like the knowledge, especially if it's facts, you know. Let me know if you got anything out of this. Please like and subscribe.